I'm from a grimy era, let's talk about it. Gotta keep a pole, can't walk without it. Did some things in the streets, but I won't talk about it. Seen some things in the streets, but I won't talk about it. I'm from a hood that's thorough, they don't play here. And they don't play on these blocks, it ain't a daycare. A new kid gets shot every day here. I guess that's why my heart colder than the rain there. DVD Era TV back at y'all with another one. Y'all know the slogan. Let's get straight into this one. Now, two of the biggest artists on the come up in the mixtape and DVD era was Maino and Jay Hood. Maino just came home from prison, dropping freestyles and songs on mixtapes, making him one of the most well-known artists in the DVD era. And Jay Hood being part of the Lox D-Block group and record label, influencing a gang of teenage rappers to pursue their rap careers. Now, being that these was two of the biggest artists from New York in the mixtape and DVD era, you'd think that they'd see eye to eye and make music together. But that wasn't the case. Now, according to Jay Hood, after leaving the MTV Making a Band party as he was on his way to his ride, he'll be approached by Maino. Maino would introduce himself and ask him if he heard of him, being that they were on several of the same mixtapes at the time. But Jay Hood would tell Maino he never heard of him. Now, these two would still manage to exchange numbers after Maino suggested that it would be a good look if they did a track together. Even though they exchanged numbers, they'll never reach out to each other and keep in touch. Now, according to Jay Hood, he'll run into Maino at the Lox EP party release at Webster Hall, where he'll run into Maino and these two will speak and say what up to each other. A few days later, Maino will post a picture of Jay Hood on his Instagram with a caption saying, "What the F is this dude at? LOL." Now, Jay Hood would comment on his post of Maino saying, "I just seen you at the Lox EP release. What's this about?" Now, after Jay Hood comment on his post of Maino getting at him, he'll let his ego get the best of him and he'll reach out to someone to get Maino on the phone so he can ask Maino why he came at him on IG. Now, after going through a few channels, Jay Hood and Maino will finally get to speak to each other on a conference call, and basically Jay Hood got a chance to ask Maino about his IG post and ask him if it was any problems. Now, supposedly Maino told Jay Hood that he didn't have a problem and these two got a chance to squash any possible issues in the future that day. After all of this happened, he realized him and Maino was actually smashing the same female who was a video vixen. Now, supposedly after a long night of Jay Hood and his female drinking and having a good time, Jay Hood would pick up her phone thinking it was his. Now, according to Jay Hood, he realized it was the female phone he had, but he still looked through her messages where he ran across a message from Maino where Maino was basically shading him. Now, he said Maino was saying to the girl basically like, "Oh man, you did a Jay Hood video," and basically bashing her for doing the video. Now, this is typical because, like they say, most beef in the street starts over females. Now, I'm going to remove myself from the journalist position and the whole documentary creator position and just speak on this topic and give my point of view briefly. Now, I'm not going to lie. I can see how Maino probably felt played by Jay Hood this day. You get what I'm saying? When he asked him if he knew who he was, he said no. When he wanted to exchange numbers with him, he had somebody else take Maino's number down. So Maino probably thought he was acting bougie. And I'm not gonna lie, like at the time, Jay Hood was down with the Lox, one of the hottest rap groups at the time, still one of the hottest rap groups to this day. So he could have been just a little bit big-headed. Now, if Maino was pillow talking or talking about him to a female, I don't agree with that. But Jay Hood said they spoke, they good, so it is what it is.
You know, I'm hard and all that. Run Brooklyn, dude, for real. Bang, bang, anywhere, gang, homie.
You know, I'm in the hood like stop signs and mailboxes, big baby. No, Dipset all day, you already know, man.
Now, in the DVD era, two rappers who was big dogs at the time and heavy on the scene was Maino and Rell, with Rell repping Dipset and Maino repping his Hustle Hard brand in Brooklyn and Rell repping the Bronx. Now, these two would be on almost every DVD and mixtape moving and also entertaining us with all the beefs they were in at the time.
Yo, Smack, what up? Let's get it how we live it.
With Rell going at other underground rappers on the come up at the time, from True Life to Max B, French Montana, and not to mention Memphis Bleak.
Rell, 40 cal. You got a problem with one of the diplomats, come holla at us.
And Maino built his career of coming at other rappers and dissing them in the DVD era, from Little C's to Gravy, Jim Jones.
I had a song where I said something, because Jimmy think he bigger now. He ain't like it. I didn't know him.
Jim Jones, Wu-Tang, and the list goes on. Now, recently I ran into a Maino freestyle at Funk Flex. Now, this freestyle is a few years back, around 2018, and Maino was rapping the Nas If I Ruled the World beat, and it's actually a pretty good freestyle. Now, only problem I had was Flex kept talking and interrupted Maino, which kept causing him to mess up. Now, in his freestyle, Maino says, Big Jewels, click too frail, get caught slipping, get your beat, oh hell Rell. Now, obviously, that was a line to hell Rell, Mr. Ruga Ruga, because around this time, he got beat up in the Chinese spot, and he ran on his family or whatever, and you know, people was making fun of him about this at the time. Now, prior to that whole video coming out, it was another video of Hell Rell laid out in the street, and supposedly he was knocked out. To my knowledge, Maino and Hell Rell never had any problems with each other, so I don't know why Maino would take shots at him. But let us look at the possibilities of why Maine came at Ruger Rell. Could it be him taking up for his Brooklyn brother, Red Cafe? Because we know one time in the DVD era, it seemed like Hell Rell was picking at Red Cafe.
How does Red Cafe have the same chain as Pharrell, and he doesn't have Pharrell money?
Could have been when Maino and Jim Jones wasn't seeing eye to eye. Hell Rell may have been talking slick, or may have said something in a rhyme, or maybe when they seen each other, Hell Rell was there and it rubbed Maino the wrong way. You get what I'm saying? You know, some things slip by us. We don't be knowing everything that be going on. Or could it have been Maino was just on his Brooklyn bully? You know, Hell Rell getting beat up at the time was the hot thing going on, so he put it in his rhyme for shock value. Let me know in the comments section, or if you even know about them even having a problem with each other, throw that in the comments section as well. Now, after Maino was dropped from Universal Records and searching for a new record deal in the DVD era, 50 Cent to make a phone call to Atlantic Records and co-sign Maino, which would eventually lead to Maino being signed.
50, call Craig Cowman. What y'all doing with Maino, man? If I could do it, I would. They hung up. They was on my line.
Now, after signing to Atlantic, Maino will put out his debut album for If Tomorrow Comes, with singles like High Hater, All of the Above, and $1,000,000. Now, according to Maino, him and Fifth began to have a relationship because they had a few mutual friends around this time. Now, in recent years, Maino and Jim Jones will get rather cool and form a group called the Lobby Boys. Now, it seems like over the years, 50 and Jim Jones will have somewhat a love-hate relationship and more than a few back and forths on Instagram. Now, I already did a whole video on Jim Jones and 50 Cent falling out, so check that video for the full breakdown on their whole situation. The link will be in the description box. Now, during Jim Jones and 50 Cent back and forth on Instagram, Jim Jones will post a jail pic of Mel Matrix, aka Mel Murder. Now, if you're not familiar with Mel Murder, he's an original member of Bird Gang and supposedly a high-ranking member of the Non-Trey Bloods, and he's currently serving an 11-year bid for his role in the whole 6ix9ine and Treyway case. Now, during Jim Jones' whole back and forth with 50 Cent on Instagram, Jim Jones will post a picture of Melly and write in the caption, Melly said he's doing super fine. You have to watch out for these so-called real ones that's rooting for rats to come home and want to see real go to jail. Any that feel like he has to tarnish another man's name for his personal gain has to be a why else would he have my dick so far down his throat? LOL, pause. Now, Maino was one of the few people to like this post by Jim Jones, and 50 Cent would take a screenshot of it and post it with a caption saying, I learned something new every day. See, I looked out for this guy when he needed help. I made a call to get him his deal. But people forget being a good judge of character is detrimental to success, and people change. So you have to watch them. If you stay on point, you will peep the change. Now, Maino will respond to this post by 50 Cent by saying, LOL, nah, I ain't forget. Never will. You overthinking, bruh.
I'm a star. If I see a picture of a star and I like it. You know what I mean? It ain't nothing more to that.
Now, Maino's reason for liking a post was basically liking a picture of someone he was cool with from his neighborhood, which was Mel Murder. Now, hop in my comment section and let me know how y'all feel. Do y'all feel like 50 Cent was overreacting and overthinking? Because sometimes you could see a person you know, especially in that setting of a jail picture, and just like the picture without even reading the caption. Now, this situation was never that serious, so hopefully Maino and 50 can work this out. You get what I'm saying? You know, Uncle Murder on tour with 50 right now, when Maino and Uncle Murder got a good relationship, so maybe they could FaceTime each other, and then he maybe could let him speak to 50, or they might could just leave it where it's at. You know, everything don't need to be squashed. Sometimes you gotta leave certain things where it is, even if it don't go no further. But anyway, if you're a fan of these old hip-hop stories, tell a friend and tell a friend about my page. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. More content coming, and I'm out. 1.